Hi guys, thank you so much for coming back to the Elena Out Loud podcast video on YouTube. This is my second episode. I'm really excited to keep the conversation going. I'll be honest, there's just something for me that's really challenging about being in front of the camera. I am so used to just popping my headphones on and having a microphone, but the camera is kind of tripping me up a little. So this is going to take me a little bit of getting used to, but hang in there. I will get used to it. Speaking of challenges, what I really want to open up space to talk about today is how you're doing. So is everybody okay? Because I am feeling a little overwhelmed. There's just so many things going on in the world that make me feel a bit helpless. Like there's not much I can do. As much as I donate or write letters or make phone calls, it still feels bigger than what I can move the needle for. And it's a lot on top of the fact that we're just navigating life as is. And that is hard enough, right? So there's been times in my life where I feel overwhelmed, stressed, angry, and sometimes I'm just not able to access those emotions because I move so quickly in the world. Like I'm doing all of the things and I just can't have time to process it. And so it doesn't bubble up for me. When it tends to show itself is when I finally stop. So I realized that I was feeling overwhelmed a few nights ago when I woke up in the middle of the night. And full disclosure, I woke up because if you're like me and you're perimenopausal, you know that there are certain foods there are certain foods that you used to be able to eat that you are no longer able to eat because they create unwanted consequences. Let's just say, I hope that's not too much, but I can't eat garlic, for example. So I used to be able to eat a ton of garlic and I love it, but I can only have a little bit. If I have too much, then I get really, really nauseous. So I woke up the other night feeling really nauseous from eating too much garlic. And I just could not go back to sleep because here comes the download of all of the things that I need to do, the lists, the people I need to call. I even had a full-on conversation, a back and forth conversation with myself and some other person that I was imagining what they would say. And I went back and forth for so long. I couldn't sleep for hours. It was just a lot. I was feeling the weight of all of my regular daily life things happening. And part of it is because we are in January and we just came out of the holidays. If you are a parent that makes magic in the holidays, you know how busy that can be. So you decorate all the things, you buy all the gifts, you wrap them, you hide the elf, you bake the cookies, you go to the concerts, like all of the things that are required of us during the holidays. And we don't really get a rest in January. Like I think that after the holidays, those of us magic makers should at least get like our own medal or something like that. But we don't even get time off. So here comes January and it's like tax season, financial aid applications are due. All of the sports teams start at the same time. Oh, and also summer camps. So I am required to think about summer camps in January for May and June. It is insane. One of the moms at my son's basketball game the other day, she turned around and she looked at me and she's like, how many summer camps are you signing up the kids for this year? And I was like, oh my God, please don't talk to me about summer camps. Like I can't even get my brain to think past 2 weeks from now. So there's so much going on. And oftentimes I don't really feel the weight of the stress or the overwhelm or whatever anger I'm feeling because I ground myself very deeply in gratitude. I'm feeling gratitude most of the day. All of the gratitude and all of the blessings that I have in my life tend to mute out the sound of the overwhelm or the anger or the stress or whatever quote unquote negative emotions that I'm feeling. I'm so that, and also because I'm moving so fast. So I'm picking up the kids and doing the fundraisers and working and groceries and, all of the things. And it's just, there's too much going on and there's too much blessings happening for me to be able to acknowledge all of the other things that I'm feeling. But that doesn't mean that they're not there. So I said in one of my last podcasts when I was talking about grief, what I'm very much learning right now is that two things can be true at the same time. It can absolutely be true that I am blessed and loved and supported and also that I'm overwhelmed and stressed and exhausted. Like those can be true also. But what I wanted to do here by asking you the question of how are you doing really? Like, how are you feeling? Is I wanted to be able to open up space to be able to talk about all of these things that we're feeling, even though mostly I and others have signed up for this, right? Like we chose these, some of the things that we're doing in life, navigating in life, are things that we directly chose. Now, I understand there's probably things going on that happen in my life, in your life, that we didn't choose and they're unfavorable and we wouldn't choose again. But many of the things, and I'll speak for myself, that I go through in my life or that I'm experiencing or have manifested in my life are things that I literally chose and I would choose again in another lifetime if I could. I chose to have children and to have a husband and to have a mortgage. Those are things that I went out and went after myself. Just because I chose it, though, doesn't mean that it doesn't feel overwhelming at times. And I think sometimes as adults, we're not allowed to say that, or we're not given space to say that, because we're supposed to stand by our choices and take responsibility for our choices. So how dare you complain because you chose this? Like, you're not allowed to complain about this, because that means that you are not a responsible adult that didn't have the foresight to see all the fine print. And yes, there was fine print that probably somewhere said, hey, signing up your kids for so many summer camps means that you're going to have a cut up day and you're actually not going to be productive because you're going to be shuttling them around back and forth, and they all get off at different times in different parts of the city. So there was fine print. I guess I could have thought of that or asked somebody about it, but I didn't. And my point is, yes, there are things that we signed up for that the result of it wasn't exactly what we're expecting, but guess what? We'll probably choose it again. So a great example of this is sports. My kids are in all kinds of sports, and it can be super exhausting. Every single weekend is taken up in the summer where we're at sports games, and it's like a lot. It is so much, and I complain about it, and sometimes I'm like, do we have to go to this game? And guess what? Even though it feels overwhelming and it feels heavy, I'll probably sign up for it again because the kids love it and there are parts of it that we enjoy, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't feel overwhelming at times. And it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to talk about how overwhelming it feels. I actually want us to have this conversation and talk about it more. On the flip side, there are things that we can do to change the overwhelm. There's another way we can think about this. Did I sign up for this? Yes. Would I sign up for it again? Yes. Is it overwhelming? Sometimes. And that's just the nature of what it is. But there's an irony in the fact that it's overwhelming, yet I would sign up for it again. Does that make sense? It might not, but it's what we do, right? But there's also a side of it where it's like, we don't have to sign up for this. We don't have to do the thing. I don't have to put my kids in summer camp. I can let them stay home and be bored like how I did every summer. There are choices that we can make that change the way we feel about certain things. I don't have all the answers for this. I just wanted to open up a place where we can talk about how this feels really heavy. But also, I wanted to share with you something that I do in my life to help me manage this feeling of like, it's too much. So when I'm feeling like things are too much, and I had finally bubbles up to the top, when I couldn't sleep the other night, I woke up in the morning and the first thing I did, not the first thing, one of the things that I did in the morning was I wrote down all of the things that I needed to do. I wrote all of the things down. This is actually a practice that I engage in many days, not every day because it's not perfect, but many days when I'm feeling like I have so many things that I need to do and I just don't even know where to start. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I write down a list of all of the things that I need to do. And in that day, I'll circle 2 or 3 things. I'm like, if I do none of these 25 things, because I always write too many things on there, if I do none of these 25 things, and nobody can, if I at least get this 1 or 2 things done today, I'm going to feel good about myself. I'm going to feel like I did a good job and that I moved the needle of all the things I need to do. The second thing that I've been doing that I feel like is even more important than making a list and managing it myself is I've learned to rely on my family for support in the things that need to get done in our household. So one of the things that I've told my husband before, because my husband and my kids used to come to me and say, Mommy, how can we help you take care of the house, let's say. And I would look at them and I'd say, you're not helping me take care of the house because that implies it's my responsibility and you are just my helper. We are working together. We are collaborating together toward a common goal. It's not mommy's responsibility, sole responsibility to make sure that all of the socks are matched and put in our drawers. It's everyone's responsibility because we all enjoy clean socks in our drawer. So you're not helping me. We're working together toward a common goal. That's something that I felt like was really important for me to reframe with my family so that they can understand that the weight doesn't just lie on me. It was for me to help them remove the expectation that mommy handles everything. And it's still a work in progress. And a lot of it, I have to say, or not a lot, but some of it has to do with the fact that there's something about me where I tend to like to have the control over how things are done in the house. I do like things in a particular way. I'll be really honest. That's something about me that doesn't always 100% serve me well all the time. But some of the reason why I don't have more support in the home is because I have taken control over the thing and named it the thing that I do, because I have a very specific way of doing it. So I have some girlfriends that I talk to very often, and one of them was telling me about this walking pad that she has and that she goes on it in the morning. And one day she was telling me about that she went on it and it was like 6:30 in the morning. Now I wake up early. I tend to wake up around 5:15 or so in the morning, 5:30 with my husband. And I, spend some time with him in the morning. And then I get up and I make the kids' lunches and their breakfasts and all of the things. So I have plenty of time in the morning, but I couldn't fathom, like, how do you have this time she doesn't even wake up as early as I do. How do you have the time to get up at the time you do, go on your walking pad for half an hour and get all of your kids ready for all the places and get yourself to work? Like, how is that even possible? And then she was telling me kind of some of the things that she does. And then I started to realize that it hadn't been possible for me because I do all of the things. And honestly, I love taking care of my family in this way. It's one of my love languages. How I show love is acts of service. I love taking care of my family. I love serving them their meals. I like bringing them things. I like doing all kinds of little things for them. But where it starts to become a disservice is when the time that I'm taking to do things for my children and my husband take up the time for the things that I want to do for myself. So one of the things I really started doing is making time for myself by telling my family that they are now in charge of the things that mama used to do. So in the mornings in particular, it looks like making lunches. It looks like making breakfast. It looks like making coffee. So everyone knows how to do those things. And so I've been putting them in charge of, okay, sometimes I make their main thing. So like if it's something hot that needs to be warmed up on the stove or something, I'll make their main thing. But mostly they're in charge of their lunches and definitely in charge of their breakfast, because everyone can put a waffle in the toaster. Everyone can make a bowl of cereal. Everyone can make a smoothie. Like, they all know how to do these things. They even know how to scramble eggs. So by doing that, though, what's happened is I'm actually helping my children to exercise their own autonomy and agency over what they choose in their lunches. And it's been a big deal. The other day, my son said to me, I like doing my own lunches. And I was like, what do you like about it? And he's like, it makes me feel so independent. And that was really lovely for me to hear, because as I was watching him pack his own lunch the other day, he has this like bento box container thing. And I was watching him put the things in the bento box and I'm like, that doesn't go there. Like, that's not how I would do it. But I didn't say anything because it gave me this space to do all of the things that I needed to do. And that time that I had to myself to take care of me, and also the feeling of independence that my son got from making his own lunch, far outweighed how he did the thing. So it's something I'm learning to let go of, but it also helps serve so many things in our life, including the feeling of overwhelm. So now I'm able to have 20 minutes to go on the elliptical in the morning instead of fussing with all of their lunches and their breakfasts. It's been great. So my point is I want to know how you're doing. And who are you asking for help? Who are you leaning on? Who is there that can support you so that you're not feeling so overwhelmed? And what are the trains that you can get off of? What are the things that you could say, this was good for this moment, but here's what I learned. And also it no longer serves me and it no longer serves my family. So we're going to get off that train. Where are the places in your life that you can make more space for this conversation and talking about this is overwhelming? Yes, I feel blessed. And also, this feels a little heavy. Let's talk about that. This is all I'm here offering today, is just a chance for you to be able to reflect on what's actually going on inside and where are the places in your life that you can ask for more support and that you can ask for more time to be able to feel the things that you're feeling. This is what I'm doing, and it's not a perfect science, honestly, and I don't have all the answers. I make my list still. I have my thoughts running in the back of my mind of all the things that I need to get done. There's more things that I want to do than there is time in the day still, and that always probably will be the case. But as I said before, two things can exist at the same time. I can be blessed and happy with my life, and I can have too much on my plate. Sometimes I can fix one of the things and sometimes I can't, and that's just how it goes. So that was just a little bit about my life. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope that you gained some insight or at least took a moment to be able to pause and reflect about how you're feeling. And I hope someone's helping you and supporting you. I hope you're asking for help and you're feeling like you can unload a little bit with somebody that you trust. Thanks again so much for listening. I'm really excited to be here. And until next time.